Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Birds vs. Boys NFL Week 4. There are absolutely no complaints here. What a week. Eagles win. They're 3-0. Everybody else in the NFC East lost on Sunday. Pure domination. DeAndre Swift is running wild. Everyone's worried about a QB sneak play. We have the whole league mad. The Phillies, as we speak, are about to clinch a playoff spot. The rain has moved out of here. Everything is right in the world. It's been fantastic here in Philadelphia. Kevin, how are you doing? Pretty similar, I assume, right?
Jalen Hurts is on pace to throw 17 interceptions this year.
You sound fantastic. You sound how the Cowboys red zone offense looks. It's pretty perfect. So just to give a quick rundown to the people of Kevin's past week, because you can tell he is sick and can't talk. So I'll be doing a lot of the speaking tonight. This started last week where he had to travel for work. So he got in late because it got delayed. When he got home, he's like, oh, I'll just sit and relax, watch some Notre Dame football. That didn't work out because they couldn't convert timeout. There's something before this.
I was on a plane already ready to go to fly home, shut airplane mode, phone off. Then we got delayed, brought back to the gate, turned the phone off, airplane mode. First thing I see, Trayvon Diggs tore his ACL.
Okay, so it goes even further back. So that Trayvon gets hurt, you're delayed. You get in, you're like, oh, I'll have a nice,
relaxing
weekend. Cowboys have an easy game. This could be the Sam Hartman MVP Heisman
conversation. We have a hurricane outside. I can't go anywhere.
A hurricane outside. So just a laundry list of things to do around the house instead. So let's relax with a little Notre Dame action.
This chair together, new chair.
The chair looks good. The chair does look good. You did a great job. So Notre Dame probably on 3rd and 19 covered the best wide receiver prospect in the past 20 years. Yes or no? Probably yes. But, it's a lesson learned. Lose that one.
We'll play with 10.
We'll play with 10. That too. 4th and 7, maybe get off the field so you're not in a position where they have a chance to score at the 1-yard line. Go to Sunday. And the Cowboys think it'd be an easy win over the Cardinals. No. Double-digit loss. The Cardinals almost covered the spread that the Cowboys were supposed to cover. And then we are here sitting this week. You are sick as well. So I feel like you've had a pretty great week, right?
Yeah, everything's been good. Very busy week last week. Got home, got sick from either my daughter or my wife. They both had it. I don't know. I've done 1,000 of the nose swabs again. It's not the vid. So it's your run-of-the-mill cold. I just spent $75 at CVS today for Mucinex and Zicam and
isn't there something we're not supposed to be taking anymore? They said like, oh yeah, it doesn't work. They pulled it off the shelf. I don't know if it's Mucinex, but it was something.
It doesn't seem like anything. The only thing that seems to be working is tea and bourbon.
Honestly, so that's the thing. Apparently, they're pulling a bunch of the cold medicines off the shelf because they don't work. They're actually not good for you. So in the end, tea and bourbon might be the most natural remedy to go.
That's it. I do. I feel like the Cowboys offense in the red zone looks. They had 20 plays in the red zone on Sunday, and they scored 13 points. 20. They have 54 red zone snaps this season so far. The closest team, I believe, is the Eagles at 34. So they're getting there. They're just not doing anything once they get there.
It's kind of how I felt on Monday. Like 4th and 2, you were in a similar position. Hey, maybe don't run it on 3rd and goal, Then
I don't know. Mike McCarthy, maybe you're down in the game, 6-7 minutes left, down by 12 points. In this day and age of the NFL, 12 points with 7 minutes left really isn't a comfortable lead anymore. No. So you should be able to, with the offense and the defense that you have against an Arizona, you should be able to still pull that game out. And he continues to run the ball on 1st and 2nd down. And then just, the problem I'm seeing in the red zone, Aidan, is they're not getting the ball to their playmakers. Right. I think Jake Ferguson has more targets in the red zone this season than CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, and Brandon Cooks combined.
Which
That's
is
the problem.
the CeeDee Lamb thing alone is wild. The fact that he has more than all three combined.
CeeDee Lamb has 0 receptions in the red zone,
which is almost hard to do.
It's like they're trying. And at this point, like, if you're going to do that, give Deuce Vaughn a touch then, right? Like, why are we just beating our head against the wall with Jake Ferguson and Peyton Hendershot? It's just like, I don't know. And I don't want to hear the whole, you know what they're missing is Zeke. No. Okay. Their proficiency on 3rd or 4th and 1 or 2 is higher than it was last year with Zeke. Zeke hit it. I think he was like 17 of 21 in 1 or 2 yard to go last year, which is a good. That's like 80%. They're at like 87% this year. So stop with the Zeke thing.
I also feel like if you're just like, oh, the problem with our offense is a short yardage back. Well, okay, then I think you have larger problems than that. Like if that's what's really holding you back, I feel like you have larger issues than that.
And listen,
you sound great, by the way.
Thank you. I feel like my voice is coming along a little better. They were down 3 starting offensive linemen, right?
That too.
A Hall of Famer guard, your center, and your future Hall of Fame left tackle as well. And you were starting Adoga at left tackle, which literally looked like he was going to get Dak Prescott murdered in the first quarter. Why they just this is the thing that, like, I don't understand with, like, their mentality sometimes is like they get so pigeonholed. They talk about position flex all the time, right? How important it is.
Yeah.
But then they get so pigeonholed with, like, we're playing Tyler Smith at guard. Even though he played all last season at left tackle and looked phenomenal, he had not played a snap yet this year. Tyron Smith was out. Adoga has played guard already this year and looked pretty good. He looked like shit at tackle in camp, but they're like, well, he can play it. They were so stubborn, they wouldn't make the switch. Like, why not make what Tyler Smith is at left tackle, and we've seen what Adoga is at guard. Make the switch, and I think the line would have been even better. And then you were starting, obviously, a rookie, his first ever start at center, and then another rookie at right guard. And I will say, running the ball, they weren't bad, right? They were gashing the Cardinals in the run. It was just that pass blocking where they were having the problems, especially with Adoga. And we were screaming it. Switch them. That hard. Wow. And they just refused to do it.
Do you think that's why they were so run heavy in the red zone, is because they were afraid the offensive line couldn't hold up? You just gave the stats. And like CeeDee Lamb does not have a catch in the red zone. Do you think they're saying we don't have time to scheme him open because 3 of these guys are turnstiles on the offensive line? If Zach Martin and Biadasz are there, are we changing the game plan?
I think so. And I think Mike McCarthy said it this week that, and he took ownership for it, which I do like. And he said, I should have been more aggressive on 1st and 2nd down and more aggressive in the red zone. And there were opportunities. I know you probably watched the game too, where, like, you're like, run it, Dak, like wide open lanes. And then he tries to throw it. And it's like, he did have one scramble, which, he got the first down, but you're like, 4 years ago, that's a touchdown for Dak running, like, easy, no questions about it. And now it's like, well, maybe, I don't know, can he not do it? Is he afraid to do it? Are they coaching him not to do it?
Probably a mix. It could be a mix of all 3, to be honest. And like, if I can't, this is one of those things.
I think we're starting to see that out of Jalen Hurts too a little bit. He looked like a pocket passer the other night. He's not taking off the way he has before, and it could be the same sort of things.
Yes, so I'm curious. I need a bigger sample size because I feel like against the Vikings they were getting him killed running the ball.
Exactly.
And all of a sudden, like, he has the flu and he ran one time. I think he had one aside from the QB sneaks, he had one actual carry for 5 yards, and a second one late in the game where he slid down. But he just didn't. He didn't look like he wanted to be there, to be honest.
No.
But
I mean, speaking of not wanting to be there, that's what the Dallas Cowboys defense looked like. We're harping on the offense. The defense is really what was the problem. They looked soft. They didn't want to tackle. It seemed like this vaunted pass rush was rushing up the field so fast. They were getting, pushed back in the backfield, and Dobbs did a really nice job stepping up.
I was going to ask about this. Does that concern you schematically, that I feel like they were almost Trojan horsing it, letting them the defense come in and then running by them?
Yes, because I also saw that in the Jets game, which
Ooh.
scares me a little bit. And Zach Wilson had some nice runs in that game. He led the Jets in rushing, and I've seen it in the past. I get it. You want to unleash these guys, right? It's one of the best pass rushes in the league, but you got to hold true in the middle, right? If you're going to do that, So
I feel like that kind of happened last year a little bit in the first matchup that you and I had against the Eagles and Cowboys, where it was like, all right, we're going to throw it to Mike, let him rush. And then we're going to like run these little short, like shallow crossing routes and just, throw it to his side once he runs by and hit AJ Brown in the flat. And he's by himself.
They had that one touchdown right at him last year.
Yeah.
He came in and he dumped it to AJ Brown. So, that's how you have to attack him and attack this defense. But beyond that, it was just like the penalties on both sides of the ball. Like it was like, oh, great, we're back to this now.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, it didn't look like they wanted to be there. They weren't tackling. It looked like they were like still starstruck from the injury, even though all week, and I'm probably gonna get hot taked here, but like enough.
We'll make sure of it.
Enough. I'm gonna take a sip of bourbon before I say this.
Go for it. I have a bottle of. I went to Buffalo Trace when I was in Kentucky. The tasting was very good. I bought a bottle.
Buffalo Trace is delicious.
Yes, I like that. And I'm not even usually a bourbon drinker. It was very good.
All week, what was the team saying? The defense, like, we're gonna win this for Trayvon. Like they had fucking 7s on their eye black. Michael Gallup had a 7 on his. He didn't die.
I was gonna say. I feel like it's over
his ACL after getting paid. He's fine. Okay, he didn't die. We don't have to do this whole like memorial, like we're a moment of silence before the game because someone tore their ACL. It was a freak accident in practice. It was even on grass. That's football. Shit happens. But you are supposedly one of the best defenses in the league. He is not the cog that holds it all together. You went out and got Stephon Gilmore, right? Deron Bland can play outside. You have Jordan Lewis. Like, you have all these pieces that we all talk about. One guy shouldn't make you crumble like that. And the other thing is, what is Trayvon Diggs not always known for? We've seen a little bit more this year, the physicality and the tackling, right? So Trayvon Diggs wasn't going to be making all those damn tackles that you were missing all game. So I don't want to hear it. So can we bury the we're playing for Trayvon thing? Like, it's done. Okay. He's out. He's injured. We'll see you next year. Move forward and just fucking play football, right?
Well, I feel like that was the most ironic part of the game is you're like, oh, if you just looked at the score, you would say, man, they really missed Trayvon Diggs, 28 to the Cardinals. I feel like that was not the problem at all. Like, it was not the absence of Trayvon Diggs. It was if he was there, it would not have been a factor in terms of how they were able to utilize James Conner, who's been awesome this year, by the way, and like getting Josh Dobbs in the space, just the way they were able to run the ball effectively.
And I will say, and this will be my last point about this game, is going into it, I was a little bit nervous about Josh Dobbs because I don't know if you remember, he played the Cowboys well last year when he came in for Tennessee and he had like 4 days to get ready. And it's actually pretty funny and ironic because my pinned tweet on Twitter is a Josh Dobbs tweet because it's like has my largest ever interaction. It was like the one where he learned the playbook. So I was scrolling on my Twitter. I'm like, that's pretty funny that's still there. But I was nervous. And I don't know if you saw him. I think you did see him the dodging the darts thing.
I was going to say, I feel like that was pretty harmless. I kind of like him. And
absolutely. He should do that.
Yeah.
If Mike is going to bark and he doesn't bite, like, clap back. Why not? You won the game. You should.
He did.
Poor dude went to the pro shop in Arizona, couldn't even buy his own jersey the other day.
That's what I was thinking of too. I feel like he does a lot of like harmless kind of videos. Like, I kind of like this guy. Like, you weren't.
He's an aerospace engineer with alopecia. Like, what's not to like?
He gives you like the movie The Replacements. The quarterback, oh god, what was his name? Shane, whatever his name was. But The Replacements vibes where you're like, yeah, I'm just kind of rooting for this underdog guy who wasn't supposed to be here and seems like a good dude.
Do you remember his parents from last year at the game?
No, I do not.
Hold on, let me see if I can just pull this up like that. They were they're like the weirdest people ever.
This is going to be a genetics question. If your parents have alopecia, does that mean how you get it?
I don't know, actually.
So they don't have it?
I don't think so. But like, this was them at the entire game last year against the Cowboys.
That is not what I expected his parents to look like. They look cold, to be honest.
Yeah, they look cold. The mom looks miserable. But yeah, so it was a miserable game. And what is the best thing when your offense and isn't performing in the red zone to do the next week is go against Bill Belichick, right? Great.
Yes, I have one take on this game, so we can get our hot takes in, and then I want to talk to you about the Patriots game because I still don't know how to feel about the Patriots. They're either good or they're bad, and I can't tell.
They're boring. I think that's the biggest take.
They're what?
Boring.
They're definitely boring. They have zero firepower on offense, but they're going to be in every single game that they play. They'll end up 9-8 because every game will be a coin flip. We'll see how
they will be in this game with a chance to win it. I will tell you that.
Yeah, this will be I feel like it'll be the same as the Eagles game. It'll be a one possession game at the end, and it's like who gets a stop, who makes a play. Something like this would be the time where you miss Trayvon Diggs, to be honest. Didn't they win in overtime at Foxborough last time where CeeDee Lamb had the walk-off touchdown?
And that's that's the exact play where Dak hurt his calf and then was out for like 6 weeks.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I totally forgot about that.
Cooper Rush had to go into Minnesota and win on Halloween.
Is that the game they beat the shit out of them?
No, that was last year.
Oh yeah. Man, these are really blending together. Can you believe we've been doing this long?
No. So yeah, I mean, everything's pointing towards the Cowboys should win this game, but everything was pointing towards they should win this game last week. So you were outcoached by Jonathan Gannon, and now you have to go against Bill Belichick.
Well, same guy. I've never said anything bad about Jonathan Gannon. Defensive genius, Jonathan Gannon.
I mean, so I mean, I'm just very interested to see what Bill Belichick takes away, because he always takes some. Is he going to take CeeDee Lamb out of the game, or is he going to choke the Cowboys' run and make Dak Prescott throw the football?
I think they could choke the run. I think if you look at the Eagles in the first 3 weeks, absolutely dominated on the ground against the Vikings and the Buccaneers. They really didn't have that success week one. Maybe that's, Gainwell's not effective as Swift, but it feels like we weren't winning at the line of scrimmage the way we've been winning. Like the last night, we weren't getting touched. So I feel like, and they know what the Cowboys want to do. You got to get out of this Iowa mindset of like, we have to run on first, we have to run on second, and then we'll pass on third down. And that's how
we saw how that worked out for Iowa on Saturday night in Happy Valley.
That was the game I was watching. And then it was like, all right, they pulled Drew Aller. I should switch it over. And then I watched the demise. I was rooting for you guys, by the way. I have a Sam Hartman Heisman future.
You love him. So do I. That was brutal. So I think Bill's going to try and take the runaway, take Pollard out of the game, and he's going to make Dak Prescott beat them. And I don't know how I feel about that. We will see. I was really happy to see Michael Gallup have a bounce back game. Almost had 100 yards. They need to start getting Brandon Cooks more involved. Especially, it just seems like Mike McCarthy is just not going to let Dak Prescott throw deep this year. And like they lead the league in long drives, but like you need a little bit of how you doing, keep it moving, as Pat McAfee would say. You need to push the ball down the field a little bit just to let teams know you can do it. And because sustained drives are great, right? You know all about them.
Baby.
But continuous sustained drives, eventually you're going to have a penalty, right? You're going to have a holding and then the drive killer, right? You need to be able to, when you need to strike fast. And they do have like that's why they got Brandon Cooks, right? Like that's what they've talked about all off season, that his speed is different. Let's see it. Let's see it. So I think Bill's going to try and take the run away. I think Dak's going to have to play a proficient game. He's going to have to kind of look like he almost did against Tampa last year in the playoffs. Spread the ball around, have some big chunk plays to CD, and then hope this defense goes out there and comes back to form. I think they're going to be pissed. I think they're going to be angry.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this Patriots offense is kind of like the perfect offense for them to go against in this realm, because like you said, going into week 1 about Mac Jones, like just get him into 3rd and 7, 3rd and 9,
Yep.
3rd and 12. Give me that all game long and let these guys hunt. And it's going to be an interesting chess match internally of the game with Ezekiel Elliott and this defense, right? You know Zeke's going to want to have a good game, right? This is his homecoming. But for damn sure this defense does not want him to run on them.
No, it's a perfect element too after last week where they got gouged on the ground. They don't want to have that happen again with Zeke Elliott, because you know what the headlines are going to be. It's going to be, oh, they should have kept Zeke. Like, look, this offense isn't the same without him. And then he goes for 90 yards and a touchdown like Connor did. All hell breaks loose.
Every single get up, first fake, every single host will be sitting in their chair in a Patriots 15 Ezekiel Elliott jersey up Monday morning if that happens.
It depends on who Colorado plays this week if they talk about it.
Oh god. And where Taylor Swift is.
You know me, I love Taylor Swift, and I'm like, all right, enough. Enough. I can't take any more
people. Swifties are just I don't get it. But
if we want to talk about that for like 30 seconds, I feel like this is like every celebrity. It's never actually the celebrity. It's always like everybody has to have the same joke on Twitter, and you see it 1,500 times, and then you're like, all right, I'm done. Like, I get it. Like, she was there at the game. She's cool. He's cool. I hope it works out for them. They're awesome. Can't wait to see her on tour again. Hopefully he's in the Super Bowl and we play them again, but it's like, okay, we get it. We get the jokes. You did the blank space thing 50 times. We got it.
I think she hates most of her fans.
I think there's we were in Long Beach Island last week. We went to the Black Whale where she was when it got mobbed. I feel like I'm sure she loves being famous and having money and everything like that. There's just no way that you would like to go to your friend's wedding and it get totally sabotaged like that. Like, nobody can
the thing that I don't understand about that, it's like, so you're just going to go outside of the Black Whale and sit there for hours and scream to see her walk 7 feet from a staircase into a black car?
Yeah. And it's like, that space is so constricted. Now that I've been there, I'm like, how did that even happen? Like, where did you guys all go? There's just not a lot of space. It's on like a residential road, but like, it's somebody's wedding, like
literally,
just to be like screaming outside and take over like somebody's like one special day. It's just,
I'm glad that
you're almost
really affected your life.
Yeah. I'm sure she feels like a nuisance to be at her friend's wedding. Like, that has to be a horrible feeling to be that famous, but I think it's a good little celebrity thing. It's
cool.
And
I will say, last thing on this is, it was cool seeing like the one video clip of her, not even yelling, let's fucking go or whatever, but when she was like, just like cleaning up the suite. I don't know if you saw that. She was just like taking her trip. And I was like, I showed my wife that one, and my wife's like, yes. So I'm like, isn't that just like cool to see that she's like normal? She's like, well, why wouldn't she throw it away? I'm like, because she's worth like billions of dollars. Like, why would she throw it away?
I did see one. It's like, there were a few tweets where I was like, yeah, this is pretty funny. The people who didn't recycle the tweets, it was funny where they were like, you're like, yeah, you got to clean up in front of the parents meeting them for the first time. That's a veteran move. I was like, that's so true. She's cleaning up everything in front of Mama Kelsey.
Especially Mama Kelsey. I feel like she'll just sit there and just be like,
silently judging. She's a mom first. You'd be like, I would have taught my boys better to clean up.
and of course, Jason Kelsey just jumping in, being like, I am like the Ian Rappaport of Kelsey and Taylor Swift.
Him and his wife are the exact opposite. I've been seeing clips from the documentary, and she was on their podcast. She's just like a down to earth, like Philly suburbs girl. They met on freaking Tinder. You know, it's just like complete opposite of this like A-list couple.
Yeah, it
Very
was
funny.
awesome.
Yeah.
So, before you get into yours, yeah, I mean, just win the goddamn game, right? You can't go down and be 2-2. You have to keep pace as much as possible, and you need to take advantage of the. I mean, obviously they didn't take advantage of the Cardinals game, but you have to take advantage of this game before you're going to play the Chargers and the Niners back to back, and then the Eagles. Like
Chargers.
It's kind of like you guys, like you're taking advantage. Like I think the Eagles are easily going to be 6-0 heading into Miami.
Whoa.
And that's what they have an opportunity to be 6-0 heading into Miami.
Statistically speaking, yes, they do.
Take advantage of these things. Good teams do that. That's all I'm saying. So go win the game.
I have a hot take. You ready for it? It's based on what you just said. If I had a Hurts, Dak, like this is why Hurts is better type of complaint, I think that there are moments where like everything's hunky-dory, everything looks great for the Cowboys. They were great for 2 weeks. No complaints. Totally dominated for 2 weeks. They'll play games where there's this lull against an inferior opponent, and you just have to have a guy who takes over, and your quarterback just like, all right, we're not losing to this bad team. Like, and it's you're on the road. And last year, Jaguars, perfect example. This year, Cardinals, perfect example. You're on the road, a team who is on paper not as good as you. The crowd's in it though, and it's just like you got to make a second half play. Like that's why they pay you. And if I have one thing about Jalen Hurts that I like you saw the Colts game last year, perfect example. Like they slept walked for 3 quarters on the road, and in the fourth quarter he threw a touchdown, ran a touchdown in, they won the game. It's like, all right, he just took over. Same like the Bears game. They looked like shit. He hurt his shoulder. They were in the wind, and he's like, all right, I'm just gonna hit AJ Brown deep, and this game's over. You know, it's just like that to me. If I had this is why Hurts is better. That's why.
Well, we shall see moving forward because he's looked good. He damn ain't looking great yet this year.
That is for sure. One more thing. I think Cowboys 5 sacks. Circle that.
Ooh, gotta hope you're right. They need it.
So.
They need a bounce back. Bury the Trayvon Diggs bullshit. Move forward and win the football game.
Not having a mobile quarterback against Michael Parsons and everybody is just a disaster.
I will say, I mean, your boy Hurts, he's looked good this year, but he damn for sure ain't looked great.
No, it's I thought the best that they had looked was Monday night. I think there were 2 or 3 plays I'm sure they'd like to have back. One of them wasn't even Hurts. I think if AJ Brown catches that ball, it's the final score is 29-11, and it's a bit like that 4-point difference. Just the 2 touchdown thing. If they win by 17, it's the score is what's throwing people off. Like they had a 4th and 2 that they didn't convert. They had, and at the end of the game, they went 9 minutes and 22 seconds and didn't put up points because they just kneeled it. But they were at the 15. And AJ Brown dropped the touchdown. Like they could have won that game by 4 touchdowns and they didn't. I think it's throwing people's brains off. But at the same time, like you mentioned, like this hasn't been 2022 Jalen Hurts for sure.
But also, like those are the people that just check their phone and see the score. If you actually watch the game, like
eyeball. If you're an eyeball test, have you seen those TikToks where it's like they'll play somebody a song and it's like, what would you rate this song? And then they go and they're like, oh, I'll give it like an 8. And then they go to the next person, like, what song are you listening to right now? And they take it to the next person and they listen. Like anybody who's like listening to the Eagles song right now, they're like, in fairness, I'd give it an 8. You know, like if you're somebody who's consuming it for real, it's an 8.
Yep. Agreed. It's an 8.
But
8 can be solid. 8 gets you wins.
8 gets you to 3-0. That's the crazy thing to me is like I have complaints. There's been plays where I'm like, you're keep it simple, stupid, and they haven't done that in every game. And at the same time, I'm like, they're up 16-0 week 1. They're up 27-7 in the fourth quarter week 2. They're up 25-3 in the fourth quarter week 3. You know, it's just like they have had points still completely dominated.
It's pretty wild if you think about it.
Like AJ Brown was like a non-factor first 2 weeks, and then this week it's 9 receptions, 131 yards, and you're like, all right, well, there were things from the offense where I was like, okay, we're starting to get it,
Yeah.
I think they did what we talked about, which was start with using the run to set up the pass. They got away from that. That's what bothers me. It's like it's almost like they want to. You ever play Call of Duty in the Nuketown map? You know how it's like 2 different houses.
Oh yeah.
And you could be on a kill streak on the one side of the one house, and you're like, every time somebody comes up the stairs, I'm sniping the shit out of these guys. Then you're like, what if I ran over to the other house? No, you're getting kills in the one house. There's no point to run across the map and do it at the other house. You're going to get killed. And I feel like the Eagles' offense is that. It's like, stay in this house. It is working. You're sniping everybody. And it's like, stay within your game plan. It's like they want that home run so bad. It's like, you don't need it.
No.
They can't stop you.
You know what's crazy is seeing like Rashad Penny on the sideline with his jersey just like untouched.
Is he washed or is just like Swift and Gainwell?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, maybe that's also their thought of staying in that house.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think part of the running back thing is like the knock on Swift. He hasn't been able to stay healthy.
Exactly, and either was Penny, so maybe they don't want a chance losing both of them at one time.
I think you're going to get a Penny game. I think you're going to get a game. I don't know if it's this week, but it'll be a time where you're like, all right, let's break him out. Let's try to, oh, baby, is this it? Are we going to the playoffs? They're coming home. Everything is right in the world. The Phillies are going to the playoffs. It's a walk-off win. The football team is undefeated. Everybody in the NFC East lost. The Cowboys lost. Oh, my goodness. Could you imagine a single thing going wrong?
All the homeless people just got houses in Philly. Everything's good.
All right. Oh, my goodness. To the postseason we go. 3-0. 80-90 wins. Oh, my God. What a way to do it. What a weekend. Sweep of the Mets, the biggest rival. All your rivals lose. You go to the playoffs. They let Jalen Carter fall to the Eagles. I can't think of a single thing wrong.
Maybe James Harden not showing up to media day?
They don't exist. They don't exist in my mind. They are a fragment of my imagination in a past life.
That works.
They're just the PTSD.
Just let Joel Embiid play for the Eagles somehow.
Yes. Bring him in. Use him in goal line packages and throw it up. I'd like to see how that goes. Florida State has a 6'7" kid. He's not even their best receiver. Keon Cole's unreal.
Oh, yeah.
Back to the Eagles, who were 3-0 and coming off a Super Bowl appearance after the baseball team went to the World Series. Do we want to talk about the tush push thing? Because I can't. I think I'm done. I'm at my wit's end. In the office when Gabe's like, shut up about the sun. That is where I'm at with the tush push. Shut up about the tush push. I can't do it anymore. It is not an unfair advantage because 31 other teams can do it and they don't. Everyone bitches about this. I was watching week 1. The Bills had 4th and goal from the 1 with Josh Allen and passed it. The Falcons had 1st and goal, threw it 3 times. It's not a bad play. You just have a dumb team who can't execute it. The unfair advantage here is that there are 2 Hall of Famers on the offensive line, 4 All-Pros, and a quarterback who squats 600 pounds. Like, it's not the push. That is not the problem. They're just stronger than you are. That's it. Shut the fuck up about this play. It's not unfair. Your team's just dumb.
Yeah, I mean, I could care less about it.
It's dumb. This is what bothers me is people are like, well, it's not really a football play. Every single
have they never seen clips from like the 1920s football?
That's what they're always like, oh, I miss how football used to be. It used to be tough. People used to hit each other. In this scenario, you're getting 11 grown men line up with 11 grown men and just smash into each other for 1 yard. It's actually football at its most purest form if you think about it.
You think Mailata had anything to do with creating this play? Because it looks like a rugby scrum, right?
Kelsey said that they brought a person in from Scotland to talk to the team about how people would try to defend it, who was a rugby coach. So they have thought about it in that sense.
Yep. I mean, that's what it looks like.
I still would like Mulata to get a carry. I know they'll never do it because
kind of like I would like Parsons to get a carry, but I do agree with Troy Aikman last night in the sense of like I wouldn't have pulled out that play where Hurts obviously tripped and got sacked, but like I wouldn't have pulled that wrinkle out there last night.
That was my first thought. You're up 22-3 in a fourth quarter game in week 3. Why was that there?
Because like we've never seen that.
No. And I knew my like closest Eagles fan group, we all said the same thing at the same time. I've been waiting on that. Like you knew they were going to pull that out at some point. It was just a matter of time. That was not the time.
So like now you got to wait some more weeks.
Yep.
You can't pull that out next week.
I wanted to see it against the 49ers on December 3rd. That's when you pull that out.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. As a rival perspective, like just stop the play, right? Until it's deemed illegal for whatever reason. It's in the rule book. It's legal. I mean, who gives a shit what it looks like? If it works, it works. So like if the Cowboys were doing it proficiently, Cowboys fans wouldn't be complaining, right? If Brock Purdy could do it with the Niners fans wouldn't be complaining. It's just because your team can't or won't do it. You're right. Just shut up.
Every team has the option to do it, and some people drafted a 5'9" quarterback and have to bring in their backup quarterback to QB sneak. Like, don't be mad at the Eagles that you are in that position. You know, I saw the Vikings this week. The 4 tries didn't get in.
Yep.
It's just like, and they passed it twice and ran it to the running back, and he got stuffed. It's just every team has. It's not an unfair advantage. Your team's just bad and not utilizing it.
Or your team has 10 men on the field at 4th and 1.
That also makes it very tough to stop a run on 4th and goal from the 1 yard line.
Did I send you my tweet, my Rudy tweet? Did you see that?
No. Was it him coming into the game?
Yeah, I said that Notre Dame's 11th defender trying to get onto the field, and it was Rudy.
Vince Vaughn was an awesome picker, by the way.
Oh yeah.
I forget that he's in that movie.
Oh yeah.
Classic 2000s movies though.
So good.
Eagles wise this week, Commanders. It's more the same. I want to win by
They're such frauds.
Yes, they are. But think about it last year. That was our first loss at home. Yep. I want revenge. Every single thing possible went wrong in that game. I want revenge. I want it to look like the Bills game. I wanted who they just played. They had 4 interceptions on Sam Howell, and the Bills won 37-3. That's how I want it to look.
Speaking of that game last year and everything went wrong, obviously a big part of what went wrong there was the Quez Watkins drop. Did he get Wally pipped from Nelson Aguilar 2.0?
Yes, he did. And it's more than just the fact that Olamide Zaccheaus scored a touchdown. He had back-to-back big plays on that drive. There was a play where his block sprung A.J. Brown. Okay, so if you're a better blocker and you possess that deep threat ability, now we start to see him probably be the better option. Will they still use Quez? Yes, but I think Zaccheaus is the wide receiver 3 right now.
Yep. I thought he was a rookie. I had no idea who he was.
No, he was with the Falcons. Yeah. St.
Joe's 8
Prep.
Touchdowns in the league.
I did not know that he went to St. Joe's Prep 2 with DeAndre Swift. Loaded. Jeremiah Trotter Jr. coming up. Speaking of the draft, 9 GMs need to be fired. 9. Not just the Bears, 9 GMs. Maybe the Texans GM can stay. CJ Stroud's looked awesome. You got to be happy. That's the most important position. You got to get a quarterback. They should be content with the pick they made. So 8 GMs need to be fired for what happened.
I don't think you can. You can't. The Bryce Young pick, we'll see what happens there too.
Yeah. You can justify it by you need a quarterback first. So at least 7. 7.5 GMs need to be fired.
Jalen Carter is not turning around in the Carolina Panthers.
He's not, but they're not they're also not a quarterback away from turning it around either. If you
I would say maybe the only thing I would say is in terms of the Houston Texans is maybe you could half fire, because I think Will Anderson's going to be a freak, but they had an opportunity to get both Stroud and Jalen Carter.
Yes. And they did not do that. So maybe half fired again. So we're back to 8 GMs being fired. But if you're the Seahawks GM, you took a kid from Texas Tech. Why? It is the exact thing you and I hate.
Has that
Why?
kid done anything yet?
No. Doesn't record a single stat.
Mm-hmm.
Why? It
Makes no sense.
It just makes no sense. The statistics that are staggering. I went back and watched a video of every single snap he had last night. He wins so much. It's ridiculous. And a lot of times it's double teams. That sack where he blew up the double team, got to the quarterback, and Cox got there at the same time. Thing of beauty. And you just knew on that interception that was going to be a safety. So I think the Commanders are going to
my
try.
My wife was like, "Oh, damn it! I got there's a punt to the 1 yard line."
Yeah,
they have a chance for a sack.
I was gonna say, I was like, all right. I was mad, and then all of a sudden I was like, ooh, it's gonna be a safety. Jordan Davis also awesome, but they're gonna try to establish Brian Robinson. Same strategy. Everything needs to be 2nd 11, 2nd and 12. Put a lot of pressure on Sam Howell to make plays and to set up his receivers. And it's good to have Blankenship back and Bradbury. The secondary looks a lot more stable. Still work to be done. Josh Jobe got targeted a lot. I'm sure they'll try to do that again with Jahan Dotson on the outside because I'm sure Slay's going to follow McLaurin. But I think it looks a lot more stable with Reed back in there. We'll see what they do at safety. Yeah. My guy Sidney Brown left early, he got hurt, so hopefully he's good. But it's the same strategy. Force the quarterback into 2nd and 12s and make him make every play.
Agreed. Yeah, I think again, just win the game.
Win the game. Yeah. Well, I know, but I want to win 37-3. Oh, this is also why I want to win 37-3. This is my final point. Josh Harris is now the owner of the Washington Commanders. We just talked about in a past life, I used to root for the Sixers, who were a basketball team way back in the day, back when I followed basketball. He was the owner of them. He is an absolute scumbag. He is everything that's wrong with society. A billionaire who owns 3 teams, and you buy tickets with your hard-earned money and blood, sweat, and tears into a team, and all he sees is a profit line. The fact that he's been touted as this hero and this martyr of the Washington Commanders when the Sixers have been disarray for the past decade. The stories that have come out with that team with a peanut allergy, with a burner account with the GM, firing the first GM because they ran a tanking strategy and he got forced to by the league, and they brought in a backup GM because of nepotism. He is the face of disarray, and he just so happened to be taking over for their one person and one owner who was worse than him. I want to beat the shit out of the Commanders for what he has done to me and my Sixers fandom. I hate Josh Harris. This win is not just for the Eagles, it's for the Sixers.
And did you see that they are also getting sued by a Native American alliance to change the name back to the Redskins because
that's hilarious.
Because it actually the person on the helmet is an actual real Native American warrior, and they said every time they went out there, he was being
represented,
memorialized, and it gave them great pride. So they're literally suing them to go back to the Redskins.
Like Parks and Rec when she gets rid of the slugs, and she's like, "Well, I didn't want to get rid of all the slugs." It's like, well, you can never make anybody happy.
So it'd be pretty funny that if they do go back, I mean, they need to get rid of the Commanders. I
think they are. They'll get a new stadium, new uniforms, new name again, and just completely clean slate it.
Yep.
But in the meantime, I hope they lose 37-3 again. I do think that they are frauds, but at the same time, like, I thought we were better than them last year, and we lost at home to them. So I'm not taking anything for granted.
I thought we were better than the Cardinals, and hey,
what are you gonna do?
That's what happens. All right, let's do power rankings and get my throat out of here.
Okay, let's do it.
You want to go 5 down to 1?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, I will let you begin the process.
At 5. This is a team that I have on here, and I'm going to do the same as last week. I don't know if I'll be able to do this again. At 5, I have the Steelers. The defense is awesome. I just love TJ Watt. He has 6 sacks already. Havoc every time he touches the ball. I don't know if the offense has enough firepower to sustain it, so I'm putting them there for now.
5 for me, it's the Arizona Cardinals. Josh Dobbs is an absolute freak. The defense is amazing. They just beat the Dallas Cowboys. It's the Arizona Cardinals deserve to be in this top 10. Because they played such a good football game on Sunday against a very good football team.
They're playing hard.
They deserve to be in the top 10. Take that, TikTok comments.
At 4, I have the Chiefs. It's the Chiefs. So, I said I was going to make them 1. Oh, no, I already fucked up. Oh, no. At 4, I have the Chiefs.
At 4, I also have the Kansas City Swifties. They will be here all season long. They are the Kansas City Chiefs. They lost that first game. Everybody freaked out. And then what they do, they racked off 2 straight wins, and they're just getting to get back into Kansas City Swiftie Chiefs at 4.
At 3, I have the Eagles, 474 yards to 174 yards. Total domination on Monday night. A 9-minute, 22-second drive to cap it. Dominant.
3 for me. I also have the Philadelphia Eagles. It does not have to be pretty. You just have to get it done, just like the push play we've been talking about. The scary part is for every team in the league is they haven't put it together yet, and they are 3.
At 2, I have the 49ers because I feel like they have put it together. Didn't have Brandon Ayuk taking care of business. I just put the Steelers on the list. They handled them week 1. Giants made quick food out of them. They're handling business. You got to have them at the top. 49ers at 2.
2 for me. It's also the San Francisco 49ers. Brock Purdy just continues to be steady as a rock, undefeated now in the regular season. The defense is just unbelievable. They are very well coached. They are a problem.
At 1, I have the Dolphins because I just don't think you can put anybody else there after you score 70 points in a football game. That's it.
1 for me, it's the Dolphins. 70-20. I mean, come on. Anybody that's saying too that they're, they ran up the score, shut up. If you have a chance to score 70 points in a football game, you do it, especially if it's against an asshole like Sean Payton.
Yes. All right, that's our show. Kevin, thanks for hanging in there with your voice. But there's a lot to be excited about around here. Nothing but positive vibes. It's been fantastic. Nothing but positive vibes. Ew, gross. If you're watching on YouTube, you should subscribe because that was we're at the spitting point of this episode. So that means it's time to call it. Subscribe on YouTube. We're doing our reaction shows there. Follow us on TikTok. I went live at halftime and after the game. We're going to do that a lot more.
I'm going to have to try that. You got to teach me how to do that.
It's easy and it's fun. I think I'm addicted to TikTok Live. And subscribe where you can find podcasts. Follow us on Twitter. And we put all of our clips from this show on Instagram and archive them there. So follow us everywhere. We'll be back this week. Let's keep the good times rolling.
Chris Hansen here, and I'm going to need you all to take a seat right over there and check out Birds versus Boys.
I think you're completely right here, and I hate it.
Yep. Hey, idiots. Stop doing dumb things. I got 2 phones. Upset alert. I might go insane.
I think you're already there.
There's no hope. Hope is gone.
If this was an AFC North podcast, we'd be done in 15 minutes.
Bob Hope.
I'm going to drink bleach.
That is?
Be the team you promised me you were going to be this year!
This is the Consciously Hopeful podcast.
I'll be watching.